A grilled cheese sandwich is an American classic, but I thought the only way to make it better would be to add macaroni and cheese to the grilled cheese sandwich and also throw in a little bacon for good measure. So let's get started with the key ingredient. Now, the first thing we're going to do is create a roux to make a very small amount of mac and cheese. Now, if you have some leftover mac and cheese from the night before, or you can quick make some from a mix that you buy at the grocery store, you can do that as well. But I like making it from scratch because it can happen so quickly. Now, the first thing we're going to do is melt some butter into a saucepan. And I've preheated my saucepan here, so this butter will begin to melt pretty quickly. Then we're going to add in a little flour. And what's going to happen here is the fat's going to combine with the flour, and we're going to cook it down until we cook the starch out of it, and it begins to look like paste, kind of a beige colored paste. And then a little stirring. So now our flour and butter mixture has cooked to the appropriate doneness. Now remember, this is called a roux, and you want it to start to smell like cooked pie crust, and that really is right where you need to be. From there, we're going to add in some whole milk. Now, we're not adding a lot of milk because remember, we're only making a cup of mac and cheese, and this will serve as the base of the cheese sauce. What we want to do is first stir it, work in all that roux, and as soon as the milk starts to thicken, and it's starting to happen pretty quickly, we're going to add in our cheese and our other ingredients. So let's begin making the mac and cheese. Now, I've got shredded extra sharp cheddar cheese that we're going to pop down inside, and that'll start melting right away into that beautiful thickened milk. Some cooked pasta, only a cup. We'll get our bacon in, not to mention a little salt, some dry mustard, and finally some pepper. Start to give this a stir, and you want to stay with this until all that cheese is melted and coated all of the macaroni noodles. So the macaroni and cheese is finished, and now we're going to build the sandwiches and get them ready for toasting. Take a little mayonnaise and smear it on one side. This is the side that's going to go down into the grill pan, and that mayonnaise will help the bread toast and turn a beautiful, beautiful color. Then we're going to turn this over, and we're going to add cheese. Now, one slice on one side of the bread, then we'll put a scoop of mac and cheese, more cheese on top, and then park the lid on top and get it into a hot skillet. Now, we're gonna take our mac and cheese and put this right on top. Because it's so thick, it scoops really nicely, and it's easy to get onto the sandwich. And as that cheese starts to melt, it will hold all the ingredients in place. Now, more cheese goes on top. And then we take that other little piece, the other bread, and create the lid. Now this is gonna go into a hot skillet, and we'll begin toasting up the sandwiches, and then we'll finish them off in the oven to get them nice and melty and ooey gooey. So now the sandwiches are toasted, and they're GBD, golden brown delicious. But we're gonna pop these into the oven, and the reason being, these are thick sandwiches. I wanna make sure that the mac and cheese stays nice and warm, and the rest of the cheese gets melty. We'll pop these into a 350 oven for about 5 to 8 minutes. So these are fresh out of the oven, and they smell amazing. Nice and melted and ready for serving. So we'll get one of these out of the pan, get it onto our cutting board, slice this bad boy up, and get ready for the ooey gooey grilled cheese mac and cheese.